when you're early in this career, you're overworked and underpaid.
Yes.
And that's just the way it is. But this is the only career that I know people that have made $0 and then within a year or 2 years making six figures. There's not many other industries that can do that. And so what can you do with your time now, because you have less money and more time? What can you do to get out there, right?
Crazy special guest today. This dude, okay? This guy, Ryan Cicchelli from Cadillac, Michigan, is a monster, okay? When I say that, I mean in a good way, right? You could see, you know, there's Monsters Inc. or there's Bad Monsters. This is a legit monster, okay? What I mean by that is he's on track. We're in August. He's on track to do $26 million in annuity production on his own pen. Yeah. Now he's got a team helping and that kind of thing, right? But you got, but he's not counting his agent production. Him.
Right.
Stupid.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. So it happens, you know, I mean, obviously there's a lot behind that. It's a great note. We've been building at this for a long time and we've been putting the plans, like we've been putting every step in place to build up to this point. Yes. And our goal, technically, we're actually short on our goal. So our goal is 30 million. And so
you got time.
Yeah, no. Well, if I don't hit 30 million next year, I should do it this year. If I don't hit it next year, I'm doing something wrong. I gotta sit back and reevaluate, you know, what we're, you know, if we push so hard, we drive so hard that if something is not driving with us, somewhere something is not working in the process it should work. We're not a well-oiled machine. We need to find out what's going on, get rid of it to continue to push forward, right?
Yes.
And so, it's unique. But no, we're on track to do it, and I'm excited to be here with you. I appreciate you having me on, and man. I hope we can bring a little bit of value to any agent that's watching, you know, kind of how we've achieved everything.
Totally. I also want to add, he's invested in 22 businesses.
Yeah.
Has a big educational facility with 62 animals that runs a lot of charity through and gives back to the local community.
Correct.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, it's really important to us.
Yeah.
And we just did one a month or so ago, maybe a little 2 months ago now, and it was just a special day for special needs. And so our facility, we have 25 acres, 62 animals. These come from all over the world for many different reasons. Got a lot last year because of COVID, facilities closing down. And we build this out to have forever homes. And so we have lemurs and zebras and kangaroos and baboons and all sorts of stuff.
That's awesome.
And so a special days for special needs was just something that's close to my heart. We're getting ready to do another one for adopted families. So my mom adopted 7 children. My wife's mom adopted 2 children.
Wow.
And so we're going to do another one for adopted children. We come in, there's no charge, there's no donation, nothing. You just come in. We have a bounce house and a tent rental company as well. And so we'll put up a bunch of bounce houses, have a tent up. We always have 2 or 3 local people that support our mission that will buy food for everybody.
Yeah.
And we make it a day event. And we actually, last year, our event was so large that they had postings all over. If you're going down Rosted Road, be careful, because we had cars lined probably 2-3 miles down the road. It was insane. We expected 100. We had over 1,000.
Wow. How cool is that?
It's cool. It makes you feel good, and it makes you feel like we're doing something right. And you know, everything that we're talking about now is important. Like the educational facility that we've built out is my wife's dream. It's what she's wanted to do, and she supports me in my dreams. But all of this is funneled by how we've been involved in insurance, right?
Correct.
My wife is a monster Medicare supplement writer. She cold calls to this day. She on Tuesdays and Fridays she calls between 500 and 600 people, and cold calling is not fun, but it's effective, and she's really good at it. And so, you know, she has a high 6-figure renewal base. She's been in the industry 5.5 years now, and then I've been in the industry 11 years. And what would happen is I would come home every day. We were building another agency, and I'd come home every day, and my wife would go, "Man, I'm like, what's this scenario? What's this scenario? What are you doing here?" And she'd be asking questions, and like in my head, I'm like, "She's gonna become an agent," right? but yeah, I was like closing her without her knowing it, right?
Yes.
And so I was seeing her. She goes, "You know, I should just get in and do it." I said, "You should." Yeah. And she's always been fueled by her goals, and her goals has been the rescue, and that's like a big one. You know, she's next year we want to be set up to take in a giraffe is our goal for next year. So
a giraffe?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes what happens is there's been a couple of animals that have come up that we weren't ready for.
Yeah.
And so we had to pass. We have another facility take them. We want to be pretty self-sufficient. And so right now she's building, we call it the Ark. It's kind of funny, but it's 60 by 80, 2 stories high. It's 27 foot high, and it will hold all 62 animals this winter. And so it's crazy. But all of this, again, stems from she became a monster in her space, right? She became a beast, so to speak, in the Medicare space. And then I started in health insurance, the Medicare side, phoning as well, and then got into the life insurance, started writing more IUL cases, and then kind of naturally progressed into the annuity side of things. And over the last really 6 years, we've exploded in the annuity side, and now now we're advertising in so many different ways. But I think one thing that I want to talk about as we get into this is when you first, one of the biggest things that we run into, and this kind of just flowing, so I hope you're okay with this.
Sure, yeah, please.
One of the biggest things you run into, whether you're a health agent, a life agent, or a fixed index annuity agent, is getting in front of people. And a lot of people don't like to use the phone. So my wife's been very, very effective at the phone. I've been effective at the phone. But at some point, even I'm like, I'm done with the phone. You just get beat up on it, right?
Yeah.
You have some rough days. And so
I don't think anyone wants to pound the phones forever.
Well, I don't think so either. But what I will tell you is that if you're writing down your goals and you're not hitting your goals, and you're spending Facebook leads, which are fine, and you're buying mailers and you're door knocking, and you're still not hitting your goals, going back to that phone is kind of tried and true. And it keeps you in check that you always can go back to the basics to go back to hit your goals. Because at the end of the day, if you have a goal, and my team, we have goals, but like I have personal goals as well. And if I don't hit my personal goal, sometimes no one knows it but me, right?
Yes.
And so I can stand in front of the mirror and I can say, you know what? I didn't hit my goal, but I did everything I wanted. I did everything I could to hit that goal. But if it's just you and the person in the mirror, and you didn't pick up the phone and try to call nobody, you didn't cold call this week, you didn't really do everything you could have did, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Put an hour, put 2 hours into it, and it's not fun. Space it out, But then the other part is, if you get into a phone, between 9 and 11 is goal time, prime time, right? You get on there, your phone, you blow it up. But the other part of this is that what can you do outside of spending money? Like a lot of people, do you want me to go down this path?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
A lot of people will come to me and they're like, man, I want leads. I want to do this. Where are you coming from? And I have 100 different lead sources, right?
Right.
I think Facebook is very effective if you're doing it right. I think that the ad campaigns and mailers are good, but what can you be doing with your time? When you're early in this career, because I'm going to focus on agents, right? When you're early in this career, you're overworked and underpaid.
Yes.
And that's just the way it is. But this is the only career that I know people that have made $0 and then within a year or 2 years making six figures. There's not many other industries that can do that. And so what can you do with your time now, because you have less money and more time? What can you do to get out there, right?
Correct.
And so big things that a lot of people, they get intimidated about, but I'm encouraging you guys to do this stuff, is every town has local HR departments, right? Every town has factories. Every town has mom and pop's offices, or the Council on Aging, which is, we have a Council on Aging in Michigan. I don't know what you guys have here in Missouri. It's where folks over 65 go to just get guidance, right? And they're not agents. You got anything like that around here?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think it's something to do with aging.
Yeah.
I should know, but I think aging is in it.
Right.
in the title.
I didn't mean to throw you on the spot there, but
My dad would know.
Yeah.
For sure.
If you're able to get in with these, and it doesn't happen right away, right? So
This is smart.
Yeah, it doesn't happen right away, but if you can go in there, I started working with the Lake City one. And then the Lake City one, I was bringing them donuts, and then I started working with the Cadillac one where I live, the Wexford County one. And I was getting donuts, and I was trying to build a little bit of value. Now, it honestly took me about a year until I got my first Medicare supplement referral. But when I got that first Medicare supplement referral, we called the Council on Aging together to tell them how happy they were. Because I wanted to capitalize on, like, not only did you refer someone, I took care of them, they're happy, and they're happy enough that we can call and say, hey, thank you for sending Ryan out to see me.
Wow.
Because what happens is now you're starting to build value with them. They can trust you because there are a lot of fly-by-night agents out there.
Yeah. And how did that come into your head, to call them with the client, to let them know, hey, they're very happy, they're taken care of? That's super unique and creative.
Yeah, so I think that a big thing is I don't like things being outside of my realm of control. I try to take responsibility for everything. I told you in 2020, we had a year where I actually went back. 2019 was my banner year. 2020, I stepped backwards. And I didn't mean to do it, but I did it, and we're going to run with it. And I think that because I understand what I didn't do in 2020, we're going to blow up 2021. And so be in control of your environment, right? Most agents will get to a house and they're like, I'm in the house. And then they will maybe not go all the way on a sale. Maybe they'll not ask for referrals. Maybe they'll not do this, or maybe they'll not do one more close. You're there. Like, you did half the work already.
You said just lazy?
lazy, scared to ask for more. You know what I mean?
Because you think you're going to lose what you already got?
Yeah, you think you're going to lose what
happens.
you got. There's a couple different things, but like on my end, I just want to make sure that I'm continuing to build value on every single level. We talk about this a lot. I say this, I'm going to brand this, man. Value is the new close. Like close is an old school word.
Yes.
And so I continue to bring value 24/7, 365.
Dylan, look for that domain. So grab it before Ryan.
Right. Yeah, we're going to get it. So, but if we can build value with the client, we live in a time right now that information is relatively available anywhere you go. And even if your clients that are in the senior market aren't getting it, their kids or grandkids are getting it.
Yes.
And so the best thing that we can do is obviously build yourself a brand on social media. You're teaching me on YouTube, even as we've been taught YouTube today.
Yeah.
I'm slacking in that area. So
I love YouTube. I love YouTube subscribers. That's what I really love.
Well, we're building ours up, and so build a presence, become known. Because if
how valuable is that?
Oh, it's intangible, right? Yeah. It's having a presence in the community.
Because you've got a big presence in your local community.
Yeah,
you're about to have a big presence in the insurance industry.
Yeah,
you're someone that looks to bring value to others, knowing that eventually maybe you'll get it in return. But that's not. But you do it not even caring if it comes back. It's just your personality.
Yeah, and I think that becomes with habit. You know what I mean? That's why kind of. And I'll circle back to this, but jumping back to it took me a year to get the Council on Aging to give me one person.
Wow. Most would have quit and failed, and stopped.
Yeah. And so it's in my control to alter, now I wouldn't say alter, to develop a relationship with that client so they feel comfortable, so they feel open with me, so they feel that I'm protecting them and I'm working in their best interest. But then it doesn't stop from there. You can ask, do you know anyone else? Do you know anyone you can refer me to? Or then to go above and beyond. See, because what separates average agents from phenomenal agents, right? Going above and beyond. It's in my control because I'm in that home to say, hey, do you mind? And you might do this, guys. You might make the sale, follow up with them after the sale, schedule a policy delivery, answer any additional questions they might have, and then during that policy delivery, say, hey, can we call the Council on Aging? Just let them know that you had a good experience with me. It's in your control. Like, what do you get nothing. Like, what are the chances that the Council on Aging is going to follow up with that client? They're busy. Very, very slim. Unless they were uneasy about it, right?
Right.
What's the chances that the client is going to run to the Council on Aging and say, Ryan did a great job? They might. It might come up, but it might not. And I'm not okay with allowing that opportunity.
But that makes sure that it comes up, and it's not coming up just from you. It's coming up from them.
From the client. Yeah,
it's a different
client as well.
way of looking
and
at
so on every level, like we talk a lot about bringing value, and I mentioned this earlier, and I'm going to say it again because I think it's impactful. Like, Cody is a great person in the industry, right? You're doing big things. You're someone that I look up to, and I'm excited. He's taking that from me now. See, that I said that earlier. I'm just joking with you. But you're someone I'm excited to build a relationship with, right?
Yeah.
And I said it was great, but if we weren't bringing each other value, right? Yes. If I was just delivering you value and you weren't delivering me any,
correct,
then I would move on. And you would remember Ryan brought me value. Yes. Ryan brought this to me. Ryan brought me the funny story about his nickname in high school, right? You would remember that, right? Yeah. And then I would move on. And if you ran into someone like in the insurance industry, you'd be like, oh, you know Ryan Cicchelli? And you'd be like, yeah, I do know him. He's a pretty funny guy. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But if you cultivate a relationship building back to me, we create value back and forth in exchange, then it's not, are we going to build together? It's how can we make $1 million together? How can we make $2 million together? Because every relationship that you guys have out there, it's not if we can, it's how we can, right? And so every single time we make these connections, that's what you have to be looking for, is connections, whether it's with clients, whether it's people, whether it's with the HR departments or the Council on Aging, like get in front of them and build value. Another thing that I'll do is I did this. I'm going to tell you a secret, but don't be telling a bunch of people I told you this. Okay. In my community anyways. What I would do is when I was first getting started, I didn't have a lot of money. And so I would go to the HR departments and I would bring donuts and I would say, hey, my name's Ryan Cicchelli. I work in health insurance and life insurance and annuities. When you have someone retire or questions, feel free to get a hold of me. And then I would send my wife in and pretend she's my assistant and just reiterate some of the message. And she was my wife just going in there. I didn't have the money to pay for an assistant, right? But she would go and just say, hey, my name's April and I work with Ryan and he's doing these things. Well, now Now we're building, right? So now I'll have a life insurance agent stop in, a health insurance agent stop in, my assistant stop in, a compliance officer stop in. Hey, we've built so much for the community and for our clients. We can offer all of this stuff to you now, right? And so you go from 4 years ago just being this Ryan guy that I didn't have no money, right? No money. We couldn't pay for Facebook advertising if we wanted to. Yeah. I remember we paid for a radio ad one time, and I waited around in that car for 2 days to hear my own. I was the only person that heard it. I was just sitting there every day. We'd turn out, and it was like a channel we didn't even listen to. And I would just sit there in the car, just like waiting for this thing to play. Just so proud, thinking it was going to make me $1 million, right? Nothing. You
heard it though, right?
I personally, I don't think anyone else heard it, but I heard it, yeah.
Did you get any calls?
No call. Actually, my wife listened to the same channel because, it was our money we were putting. She wasn't my wife at the time. And she calls me, guess what? I said, what? She goes, I heard our ad. I was like, oh, that's so great. We're super excited. Nothing, guys.
It brought value to you.
It made you feel good, and that's great. And
it's so funny because Dallas and I used to have the bald buddy of mine that you met earlier.
Yeah.
We used to have a fantasy football radio show, and we would literally be driving in the car and then start recording on our phone if our commercial played.
Yeah. So I hope you guys all go through that moment. Just know that radio is probably not the best use of your money off the rip, right?
But there's a lot of guys in your space that do radio shows.
Well, and so what's happening now is I say, you guys have to be really careful, and I don't want to go too crazy deep into this, but you have to be really careful of where you are in your career versus with what works for you in advertising.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you now that I'm running television commercials.
Yes.
That I've done radio spots, that I have billboards. You can leave my town any which way and you'll see my pretty face on a billboard.
But if you're brand new, you shouldn't be doing any of those things.
You should not.
Correct.
No. And that's what I'm saying now is that I'm doing that because what I want now is brand awareness.
Yes.
I want when I call and I'm Ryan Cicchelli with Generations Insurance and Financial Services, you're like, I've heard that name somewhere, right? And we're building other businesses as well. So we're doing well on the business side, but to me now it's about becoming known and not only becoming known because I don't care if everyone knows who I am. I want to be known for credibility reasons, right? I want to be known
I'm a celebrity, I'm famous. It's known as in okay, wow. I recognize this person.
Right. This person, and then,
or you should talk to this person because of this.
Yeah. And those are the big things. I had an experience with Ryan. I didn't do anything with him, but he brought me this much value. And so I would recommend him, and then what happens is they drive by that billboard and they see it. And it's all just brand awareness. But if you're early in your career, right, you need some sweat equity. You need to get out there, boots on the ground, go talk to your local HR departments, say hi. Facebook ads are good. They're inexpensive. Make sure that you understand them.
Door knocking.
Door knocking's phenomenal.
Warm market.
Yeah. Door knocking is phenomenal. So there's tons of resources. But what happens is I went to an event. I won't even drop the name of the event. It wasn't Cody's event. I missed that one. I feel guilty about.
Never again.
Never again. No, I won't. Never again. But I went to an event and I had an agent tell me, they're like, man, I buy these leads every month. And last month was a slow month. My numbers are way down. I'm like, so what else are you doing? He's like, nothing. We just wait for the mail to come to get these leads, these emails. I'm like, man, it does not work like that.
Nothing.
Right.
Well, and that's funny is literally, I was thinking this earlier, but now there's a perfect time to bring it up. Most agents' excuse is they don't have enough time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And you're invested in 22 businesses, running an educational facility with 62 animals. You've got 4 kids. You've got a wife. Oh, you have an insurance agency.
Yeah.
Oh,
our restaurants are a big one right now. And speaking, right? We're getting into speaking. The annuity expert.
You're traveling every week.
But I'm in Missouri right now, right?
But people don't have enough time.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is what happens is it's the way you utilize time.
Yeah.
Is really important because I don't have time
It means you haven't created it yet, I
guess, because
right?
what happens is, and I used this example earlier, but I'm going to use it again, but once I started writing enough health and life business, and I would have an annuity here and there. My first year, I maybe wrote $1 million, right? So I would have a health and life business come in, and I would have just enough money in the bank then I wanted to open my own place, right? I wanted my own shop because if you met me early in my career, you were in my kitchen at my table with my printer, and we moved our dining room table so we had a place I could sit with clients in my kitchen. And I wrote life insurance policies in my kitchen. So at some point I was like, okay. And we did it all on credit cards, by the way. We were broke, bro. Yeah, we did everything. My wife got a $500 credit card. We bought a desk. We both got, this is real good.
But you were willing to take the risk.
Well, I knew I knew that I had it
yourself,
in me.
for
Yeah, I
sure.
knew that I had it in me, and I was at without going crazy on my backstory. I was at a place where I saw the opportunity. So I was at an agency. I got licensed. I went in there and I saw the money these guys were making.
Yep.
And I knew that if I owned this, I've never, like I told one buddy, if I made $100,000 a year in my life, we were making jokes about all the things we would do together. Right. And now it's like, you make 4 or 5 million in a year. And it's like, you have to continue to build, right? It's
correct.
I never expected.
It's just a level.
Well, and what happens is the insurance industry gives you that level of reach, right?
Yes,
like they say no one ran the 4-minute mile or the 5-minute mile, right? And then once one person did it, 5 did it the next year.
Correct.
Right? So it's hard to earn $1 million in the insurance space. Yeah, sure, it's hard, but once you put the effort in, once you put the work in, once you do all this stuff, like it becomes habit, right?
Yeah, you can't imagine not doing it. I can't imagine not having multiple 7-figure companies anymore.
Right. Yeah.
It just feels weird.
Yeah, I said, if I could go back to 18-year-old Ryan, I'm 31, by the way, but I was like, if I could go back to 18-year-old Ryan, I'd be like, hey, if you get your stuff together, right, that you're going to have a zebra in a couple of years, right? Like, okay, all right, touche. Like, so now what happens is people ask what I do, and I said, I'm in insurance, or, I'm an entrepreneur, which I don't really like that one, to be honest with you. A lot of people are abusing that one, but I'm an investor or whatever. It's hard because you start telling people, oh, we do this and this and this, and you start throwing in like a baboon and a zebra and a hyena and stuff.
And a Lambo.
And a Lambo, and people are like, this guy's full of it.
Really?
But
They're going to have a TV show about this dude.
If we do, I hope it's a positive one. So anyways, but it all comes with hard work, right?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you another thing that's really important for you guys in the insurance space, because this is what I was kind of getting into, and I want to funnel back to it because we can get off a little bit.
Totally.
Chatting.
Easy.
Is once you guys start having money come in, you open your office, make sure that, one, I got my wife on board, which is not the easiest thing to do, but she came in and worked. And then we had enough money for an assistant, right? And then once we had that assistant helped us do a lot of things. It helped us get off the ground. So that money in your bank feels nice. And when you're not used to having money, there's really two giant polar opposites here. You can either hold on to it, or you can be like, hey, I'm used to being broke, so you might as well spend it.
Correct.
And then we're still going to be broke, but we were broke before, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm broke with more time in a day. So like, I'm writing these policies. Like, how do I expand my time? How do I create more time? Well, I hire someone.
People.
And I bring another agent on, and I recruit. And then the next thing you know, you have an office of 14 agents, 2 managers, and the 2 managers are running annuities from $200,000 and under, and you're running everything $200,000 and over, and you're doing weekly trainings, and all of it cultivates off of the energy and the environment that you want to build. But not only off that, it comes off of your direct effort is correlated, from what your agents are going to put in. Mm-hmm. So if I say, hey, you need to write 10 policies this week, and they need to be this and this and this. And then after you do that, you need to do 2 trainings, and you need to phone 100 people. They need to see me doing it, right? They need to see me doing all of this stuff. And I think that's extremely important. Well, we got multiple live feeds going on here.
He's got to get it. Always promoting, right? That goes back to the attention, the branding piece, So I want to go back to one thing that
if I keep getting on these, I gotta get in better shape. I'm sitting around like, I was going to the gym, like lifting, working out. And I'm like, man, I gotta get in better shape.
Your arms are like 6 times the size of mine.
Come on. So's my stomach though. So we're on.
Well, all right.
See, that's every time I come down here, be like, Ryan, you lose some weight.
There we go. We go.
All right. Anyways, go ahead.
Take over the world in the matter of a few weeks, knowing you.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
So, what have you noticed that investing in 22 different companies?
Yeah.
What have you noticed from those business owners that insurance agents can learn from?
Well, so a big one is, I think a lot of people underestimate what they're able to put in. And so I use this example. Jim Rohn talks about this as well. As if I say that you had to get everything in your week done in today, so you could go on a full expense paid vacation tomorrow, you would do it. Right?
Yeah.
You would absolutely do it. That's with every business owner, every insurance agent, every single person I've ever worked with ever. And so it's hard, but if you can cultivate that mindset on a daily basis, then you can achieve massive things.
You can find a way. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
You can cram a lot in and do more and find a way, or delegate or whatever. Like, you can always find a way. It reminds me of Elon Musk. Says he tries to accomplish his 10-year goal every 6 months.
Right. That's crazy, right?
Nuts.
And then to further that is, I had someone ask me the other day, how do I know if I'm right to get in business? And this is, guys, when you're an insurance agent, you are your own business. So like when people work at Generations Insurance and Financial Services, I tell them, it's cool that you work here, but people don't know, they don't care about the company, right? This is just a house where you're at. They care about Abby the agent or Jamie the agent or Jake the agent, the one that's servicing them, right? Because when they leave, Generations is there, we're going to take care of them, but Abby's gone, right? And so none of that matters. But be your own business. I don't care if you work for State Farm or wherever you work, be your own business. Own your own brand. It's extremely important because you're proud of your own brand, right?
Correct.
Like if you have, I can tell you if you worked at my agency, you would have a Generations card and you would have a Cody card, right? You know, Insurance Agent Cody. And because you should be able to promote yourself as well. Yeah. And I think that gives you a sense of pride, right? It gives you a sense of like fulfillment that you're building something. And so if you are thinking you want to start a business or you want to get into the insurance agency or you want to re-up what you're already doing in the agency, but you want to challenge your commitment level, your own personal commitment level. I don't care what kind of shape you're in, what you look like. Maybe some of you guys are already ahead, but that's okay. Start going to the gym for 90 days. 90 days. Go to the gym and go early in the morning. 6 o'clock in the morning. And go at least, I'd say 5 days a week, but if you can do 6, go 6. And you might be like, why? Why is that important? Because it takes a ton of discipline, right? Like at 5 in the morning, do I want to wake up? No way. So you know what I did? I put a gym in my house. So now I just get up, go downstairs. I have a cup of coffee, go downstairs. But I also go to my gym because I have a personal trainer I like to work out with because he keeps me on track. I like to do arms and upper body and shoulders, and that's it. And then legs are like, they're real skinny. They no fat on those.
These legs.
But the point is then I have someone that's doing well to hold, like Bo is my personal trainer. He holds me accountable to do legs.
Like a Jimmy and John. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And so, but what the point is is week 1, it's going to suck. You're going to get up early. You're not going to like it, but you always feel good when you leave. You feel great when you leave, right? You're going to be in pain. You're going to be sore. It's just not going to be fun. But on day 91 and day 92 and day 93, if I walked up and I said, hey, you can quit now, you'd be like, why? I've come so far.
Exactly.
I'm in way better shape than I've ever been. My cholesterol is lower. My blood pressure is lower. I like getting up in the morning. I feel I'm accomplishing more in my day. Why would I stop now? Why would you? That's a great question. Why would you stop now? You shouldn't. So you guys just have to, you create that momentum, right? Yes. You create, like they say, 21 days forms a habit. Well, that's great. Then don't sit on your couch for 21 days because then it'll be a habit to you. Yeah. Right? Ooh. My wife says, I hate holidays. I hate them. I was like, why, honey? She goes, what happens is between Christmas and New Year's, where I live, you know what I mean? A lot of things shut down. And she goes, you just pace around the house talking about you can't wait till Monday, round and round. She goes, you drive me nuts. I said, I'm calling people. Like I call people Sunday night, 10 o'clock, be like, hey, what are we doing tomorrow? Like, he's like, it's Sunday, man. That's my favorite day of the week is Monday. My favorite day of the week is Monday. People are like, thank God it's Friday.
I can relate to that so much.
Yeah, man.
Are we weird? I mean, let us know in comments below. Are you guys like that? Or are we just really weird?
Well, and it's okay that, you know, I mean, I hope you guys become like this, but if you start getting in a rhythm and you start getting in a habit of doing this stuff, then it's not weird, right? Mm-hmm. Like I might come in, I get this a lot of time, and this is, you and I kind of hit it off nicely on this. I come in a lot of times and I'm in front of a group of people and you can blow 15 people's hair back because you're just doing so much on such a high level that you only know to take action. Yes. And if there's a non-action taking moment,
you can't even relate.
It's hard. And so when you get around people firing on a big level, you can relate on a very high level, right?
Totally.
But I also keep enough humility to know if someone's going through a hard time, but they're putting forth the effort, then we can slow it down and help those people, which is extremely important in leadership, right? Yes. And so I could keep going on.
Dude, this is good.
Yeah, all right. I get excited about it because I believe that every single person has greatness within them, right? Yep. But I also believe that in 99% of people, it is harder to get out than in the other 1%. And so it doesn't mean they don't have it in them. It means that we just have to really work to get it out of them, right? I've seen agents that are in their 50s that are thinking about retirement, that they have something that just clicks, just turns their thought process, and the next year or 2, 3 years, they're doing 6 figures and they haven't done it for the last 5, 6 years.
Exactly.
Right? But what is it that's going to make you click? What can I resonate with? And then that comes on like a coaching level. And if you don't have a good coach, get a good coach because that's important. And if you're not going to seminars and events, you need to start going to seminars and events because I'm here right now today because of an event, right? And so, and building relationships. Yeah.
That's true.
And so, you know, you're never going to become known. Like the idea of Mel Robbins has this book. I try to be real diverse in all my books, right? She has this book called the 5-second rule. and you see something and you're like, I would like to do that, right? I would like to go to 8%.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, buy. Right? Just don't even mess around. Just
Boom.
buy.
Yeah.
And she said it's like a countdown that most people can process, and that just means go, right? Whether you count it down and it's something in your head, just
it's so good. People overthink stuff. They don't do stuff. They don't take action. They procrastinate. They put it away till tomorrow. I love that. The more I find myself saying yes, the more opportunity I find, the more money I make, the more relationships we're able to cultivate.
Yeah, and the other thing you have to realize is I'm doing a couple deals right now that you specifically know about that are, you know what I mean, they're high risk, high big deals. They're a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of things that you have to be putting forth. But as long as you have to understand that every single thing that I've ever achieved that has a level of greatness to it is on the other side of fear. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people can beat that up, but I'll just tell you. So I wrote in high school, I'm gonna tell my high school story, but because there's a reason for it, right? Is that you can't be afraid of what people put in your head that you should be afraid of, right? So I was in 10th grade. I had to read a social studies class, and I was always bad at reading, but I was really bad at reading. So what I would do is I would count all the people that were in front of me, and I would try to guess what paragraph I would be on, and I would pre-read that paragraph, and I would hear nothing anyone else said. And I got dyslexia pretty bad, but I would hear nothing anyone else read. And when I get to it, I would read it, and one time I read the wrong paragraph that someone else just read. And I stuttered through the whole paragraph. And a girl named Tanya, I won't say her last name, but she goes, yeah, Ryan can't read. And I was like, oh my God, like that was so cruel, right? Yes. Well, what you do is it hindered you for a while. And so, but now the other day I spoke at Rise Up, and I said, one of my biggest fears is reading a teleprompter. I'm not good at reading. I actually have a writer in the house that writes all my articles. I give him voice memos and send them to him, and then he writes the articles because I can't. It's all right, guys. Ray Dalio says, I didn't make all my money by knowing everything. I made all my money by surrounding myself with people that know what I don't. It's all right not to know everything. And so
you want people that are actually better at those things than you will ever be.
Yeah. And so I had a conversation with someone a couple of weeks ago that said, hey, you might be able to talk at one of our events, but I think we have a teleprompter. My heart sank so hard. And so when I spoke at Rise Up, I went to Jenny. She's well-known in our community. I said, where can I speak in front of a teleprompter? Like anywhere. Like just give me an event to go to. Give me, I'm looking at TC New Tech, and I said, maybe even something on the news that you just want me to say. Come out to the rescue, do a story, but give me a teleprompter that I have to read, because I am insanely scared of flopping, of dropping the ball, of stuttering, of getting the stuff backwards. But if I put myself in front of it 200-300 times, then it's a muscle, man. It's just a muscle and we can overcome anything you put your mind to.
Yes.
But I don't want to say this big opportunity. Nope. I'm not going to teleprompter. Poop. I don't do teleprompters. I'm going to find a way to do teleprompters, right?
Yes.
Cody go ahead.
Oh, I've never used a teleprompter, so.
Well, that's good. So we can keep doing this forever. But it was just something that got put up, and I never knew I had a fear of teleprompters until he said there was going to be one. I was like, dun, dun, dun.
So they were going to tell you what to say?
Yeah, there was going to be some guidance on it.
Or you were going to have to put your content in there or something?
Well, think about this, though. Let's say that you go to an event like at 8%, you probably have bullet points in front of you. You want to stay on track, right?
True.
Yeah, what if you have too much information on a bullet point and I try to read it and it's my own information. I'm messing it up.
Yes.
It's okay to stumble, guys. It's fine. Yeah. It's not a big deal. I come in today.
People relate to it.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah, and I think that's good. And I came in today and I got to talk to your team and Landon's team. And the first 30 seconds, I was like, what are you going to say? Because they just kind of threw me on the spot. So I just started talking. And after about 10, 15 seconds, you get in a little bit of a rhythm. And then you find what you're doing. And then they can't shut you up. And then you're like, hey, all right, we need 2 minutes, not 10, right?
No,
and so, good. But as long as I'm creating value as the whole.
Correct.
All right, anyways.
That's right. What's outside of insurance, what other business intrigues you the most? Type of industry?
Well, so I don't have a type. I find it fascinating just to help people achieve. So you guys can look this up on me, but I've been part of tattoo parlors, automotive shops. We tried to put a unique spin on it. So Dark Side Studios was our tattoo parlor. We tried to make it like an art studio that you got tattoos at. So it was a little different take. It was very classy, very high end. We had some of the best tattooers come in and some of the best people learning there. And so it was a different feel. We have automotive shops and performance shops. And so now we're getting ready to do our restaurant, which are doing high-end Italian. And so
nice.
Yeah, very beautiful. It's
I want to own a restaurant. Everybody says it's horrible.
Yeah.
You never want to own a restaurant, but I do. I want to own a restaurant in Springfield.
well, and so what I did is I wanted to own a restaurant, but I started dabbling, so I bought a food truck. And so I bought a food truck. I got the system laid out, and I said, well, what we'll do is we'll work on the food truck from like December, January, February, and then in the springtime, March, April, May in Michigan, right? It was sunset's coming out. We'll be ready in the food truck. We'll have a rhythm down. We'll be ready in the food truck to start making good food, making some money. I know we're going to lose during those months. Excuse me, but that's fine.
Yes.
And what happened that I did not foresee was COVID hit. Bam, March. And so I shut the food truck down, lost $30,000-ish on the food truck, plus food costs, labor costs, training. So it was about $30,000 in the hole, and which is one annuity. But anyways,
That's true.
it is true. I just throw that out there. My bad.
Couldn't the food truck have like drove around people's neighborhoods or something? Or is
Well,
that
it was a
weird?
food trailer, but yeah, we probably could have done something. But
Sure.
in Michigan, man, what happens? They shut it down, everything.
So it was more hardcore than Missouri.
Oh, it was. I don't know. We couldn't leave our houses. You had to have
No.
yeah, for real, dude. One of my buddies got pulled over wanting to know where they were going, and they were going to my property to water the animals, right? And so you had to you went to the school. They had times for elderly people. Like between 7 and 9 were 65 or seniors only, and then it was crazy. You didn't know this? Come on.
What the?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was super crazy. So we were locked down for like 2-3 months, where everyone was just staying in their house, and
I
luckily,
did whatever I wanted. I had that. That's so foreign to me.
right. And so we were locked right down.
Jeez.
So you couldn't have it. Restaurants were all closed. You couldn't go to a restaurant if you wanted to. And they actually, at that time, I don't even think they were doing takeout because it was just like they were shut down, right?
Wow.
And so it was crazy.
That sucks for all those businesses too.
It's tremendously terrible. And then now, we could start going into the economy. I'd be here for 6 hours.
For real.
But so we won't go down that path. Another time, because anyways, I want to get into it now. But what I'm getting at though is that we couldn't do the food truck, so we ended up losing the food truck. Someone came with cash and they said, "Hey man, I got so much money to buy your food truck. I didn't even have it for sale. I was going to restart the business eventually." And I said, "You know what? I'll sell it. I'll cut my losses." Right.
Yep.
And then about a year goes by, and I'm like, "Man, I want to open this restaurant." And I have like 9 people be like, "Remember that food truck?" And I'm like, "No, dude, I don't like that food truck was just a lesson, right?"
Yeah.
And so I think it's all about overcoming objections, overcoming obstacles.
What'd you learn from the food truck that you translated into the restaurant?
So I now have a better understanding of. So I didn't know the food industry at all, which was really hard. So I now know aligning someone that knows. I partnered with a buddy, and I kind of threw him in it, and he didn't want to be in it. Big mistake on my part. I normally.
Why do we always end up in those situations where we just you do it,
Yeah.
you'll be great, and then they're like, oh, I hate doing it.
Well, and the big thing that I've learned in business is the people you partner with have to be passionate, right?
Yes.
Jake at the tattoo parlor, he's a great guy. He's super passionate about what he does, and he's insanely good at
It
what he
always
does. And he
seems to
takes
go better,
pride.
too.
Yeah, it does. And so now we're partnering with this guy named Lenny and his wife Caitlin, and they're phenomenal. And they have a great reputation in the area. He's worked at some of the best places. He's building a phenomenal reputation for himself. And I said, who better to partner with? He's got tons of drive. And so what happened? He called me and goes, "Hey, this place called Maggie's, I think they're going for sale. It'd be a good investment for you." And I said, okay. So I call and I call and I call. Now I'm calling on license. I'm calling restaurants. I'm setting up times with realtors. I call him back and say, "We're looking at Maggie's tomorrow at 9. He goes, "What?" I said, You planted this seed, man." I said, "Now I'm running.
That's
with it."
Italian?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. So that was a restaurant in town that came up for sale. And then I ended up talking to another business owner that had a place. And so now we're renovating a whole nother building, bringing the Italian upstairs, authentic Italian upstairs, nice high end, like some Sinatra music, low lit lights, good authentic stuff. And then downstairs will be whiskey, bourbon, and scotch, a bar. It'll be a lounge. And we aren't going to serve, we'll do appetizers, but not food. And then we'll actually have like a wine barrel wall. And then we'll have a private event on the other side. It's going to be very nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be classy.
I'll have to come up for that.
Yeah,
That's really
you'll
cool.
have to. But there's big risk because I live in Lake City, but I'm from Cadillac. In Cadillac, there's 15,000 people. Well, in the city, right? 10 to 15,000
Yes.
people in the city. There's probably 50, 60,000 in the county. I don't know the exact numbers. But to open something higher end when there is one other higher end place in town, it's a little, it's a little nerve-wracking.
risky.
You got to make sure that you have to be delivering on a high level. Because opening another breakfast place, a little more commodity, right? But like if my average plate, and I don't know, don't quote me on prices, but if my average plate is $30, $40, not everyone's going to come in there for their, but
True.
what we want to be is we want to be date night, right? We want you to take the missus out. We want you to have a long week and maybe, celebrate with somebody or go out for a drink. And we want it to be respectable. We want people to have that experience. And so it's more about the experience. I went to a place, went out to eat. Everywhere I go now, it's like, how do we do business, right? I went out to eat and this guy, he was telling me a story about my food and I'm listening to him and he is super passionate. And I'm like, we need you at our restaurant. I try to recruit the guy.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing here? How much are you making? Come on. Because I want you to have an experience, right? When you and I are together, I say value. I want you to be like, that was a good experience today, right?
Exactly.
Well,
it's all about experience.
Experience, value. You call it whatever you want. It's, what I mean? It's all the same thing on some level. And it's what you do with it, right?
Yes.
I get excited.
Dude, I love this. So let's go back to...
yeah, sorry. I probably
no, you're good. No, this is great. Let's go back to agents. Let's think through, like, okay, what are some of the things that they need to start thinking about doing as they're maybe they want to ramp up their own deal. Maybe they're tired of making 80, 100 grand, 120 grand, and they're like looking for that next level.
Yeah. So the easy one is going to be like take accountability, which I don't want to beat that one up because everyone says that. Well, it's true. That's why everyone says that.
That's true.
But yeah, right. Yeah. You need accountability. So, but the other part is like really break down in your day what you want to do. So one thing that I do in our office is I take every day and I base it off 100, right? And I know that if we hit all of our goals in that day, we'll hit 100%. But I can tell you that we fire on high levels. I think the highest day we ever hit was like 75. I don't even think we've ever even hit an 80% productivity day.
Wow.
Because we hold ourselves accountable every single day. So it's like I have a list. Jessica, my assistant, gets a list, right? I give her a list every day. She got a list of 20 things she's got to do. And then Ron's got a list of 20 things he's got to do. And Jamie's got, and we're getting more and more into lists, which they're a little time consuming, but because of my travel schedule, my work schedule, and everything that we have going now and all the businesses, I need lists for everybody. And so, and they're easy to do. Like, if you think about this, if you're like, I don't got time to make a list for myself or for my assistant, let's just say it's you, right? I text to talk on my note thing, and in 3 minutes, I have a list of 20 things. Like, it does not take long.
Yes.
And in the morning, if you do it I heard someone, and I can't think of who this is, and it's going to drive me nuts, but it's doing something in a habit that aligns you with your day. And so for me, I like to work out in the morning, and when I work out in the morning, I can start. I will stop and type in a thing on my to-do list.
Correct.
Another person that I talk to, they just have a morning cup of coffee. They sit, they have a morning cup of coffee, they just think. That's all they do. No one around them. And that's their moment, right? So it could be a drive to work, it could be anything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There's
but
a lot of those.
Own that moment to say, what do I have to do today? Just jot it down. And then once you jot it down, don't leave until it's done. Yeah. And don't make some excuse of why you didn't do it. I hate that, right?
Correct.
I dislike that. But so, because there's always things that we can be doing. Do you get sidetracked? Yeah, that's fine. It's okay to get sidetracked. It's okay to get Cody and I.
We see 14 squirrels today.
Yeah, and so, but go back to it, right?
Yeah.
All right, now go back to that list. What do you got to do? How many calls did you make? It's super easy. This is a really easy one.
Yes.
Is you close a sale, you get it done, and you don't call the client to see if they have any questions midway through. You just wait until the policy comes in and you either mail them the policy or you call and set up the policy delivery time.
Shows up in the mail and they never talk to him ever again.
Yeah, and so what we do is we have it set up as a touch point after the sale. My assistant calls them now, right? But then once it got approved, let's just go to health insurance or life insurance, right? Once it's approved, a lot of them are same day now, but there's nothing wrong with making a same day call.
Yeah.
Hey, Mrs. Jones, I just got off the phone with Foresters or X company. I know I was out there this morning, but your policy's already approved.
Wow.
I just wanted to let you know. Do you have any did you think of anything since the last time I was there? And that's it takes 3 minutes. And
it's such a small, minor deal, but such a big detail.
It is such a big detail. And here's another thing is I today will be like, I don't want to make this call.
Yep.
Guys, I deal with this every day. I'm like, Mrs. Jones, I got to call Mrs. Jones. I was just at Mrs. Jones' house. I love Mrs. Jones, but I don't want to call Mrs. Jones. Just call Mrs. Jones. You get on the phone, you're like, hey, she's happy. Oh, thanks so much. My apologies. That you hang up. You're like, I'm so glad I called Mrs. Jones.
Exactly.
Who is this guy in the back of my head telling me not to do this?
And then I'm happy I did it. They didn't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what happens? You get the policy and same thing. Mrs. Jones, I got your policy. I'm getting ready to come out next year. I'm going to be in the area, right? Did you have any other questions? These are minor things, man. It doesn't take a huge, big block of motivation or he got lucky with these sales or whatever the case is, right? It's just doing the little things. All these little things add up. 1% every day. Just 1%.
Exactly right.
That 1% could be an extra call to a client.
Yep.
Rebecca Davis, I'm sure she's fine with me name dropping her.
Oh,
She does
Totally fine.
she does something that I never do. But she calls clients on their birthday and sings happy birthday and stuff to them. I have never done that, right? But
She's
after we
amazing.
saw Rebecca do that at 8 figures, I called my assistant. I said, we need to get everyone's birthday down. We need to get there in the system. Like I do a lot of good things, but there's things I've been slacking on.
Correct.
It's just another touch point for your clients.
Exactly.
right?
It's hard
And-
to do it all.
And so what happens though is, and here's another one too, because the insurance industry is very, very Joe Blow down the street owns, Cody owns a insurance agency 3 blocks away. And he does Medicare and I do Medicare. So we're competitors. Man, dude, find a way to work together, right?
Totally.
I was slacking in my customer service game, not like on a bad level, but like, let me say slacking. I use that lightly. I could have been doing more. My clients were happy, but I could have been doing more. So what do? I call Rebecca Davis, start talking to her like, hey, all right, I gotta do this. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And like, I know the answers to my questions, but she's telling me to do it, right? You could be an agency down the road and I could be an agency over here. And why shouldn't I walk down and have a cup of coffee and see, maybe there's a product that you have in life insurance that I'm not licensed with. And maybe for some reason I can't get it. And it could help 2 of my clients.
Exactly.
What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. It's crazy the way that people think about just everything. Right?
Yeah, they meet all the other business owners in the city, but they never meet the other insurance agents.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not talking
Man,
about
go
that.
shake their hand, say hi,
Yes.
introduce yourself.
You never know what opportunity is going to come from something, too. It's wild.
Cool. Well, and then the
It's
other
wild.
thing is you're both licensed, right? So
Yeah.
you're both like, say, hey, if I refer you someone that I can't help with, split the commission with me, right? You're both licensed agents. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a way you guys can figure it out. There's just synergy is so important. That's all it is. Like, I talked to you today. It's not like we either work together or we don't. In general, on anything, right?
Sure.
It's how do we work together on something
Correct.
in time, ever? Like,
Yes.
you have someone and I have someone, and we're both know someone over here. How do we work together to get them involved in our group?
Correct.
Right? Even if they're like, oh, these guys, I don't know about these guys, but we know that they would be good, right?
Yes.
How do we get them involved? Working together is just extremely important.
Yeah.
And it's hard. That's why people don't want to do it. I read something the other day. Sorry.
No, go for it.
All right. I read something the other day. It said 99% of misunderstandings could be solved by having a conversation and trying to understand. That's so powerful, man.
It's true.
Yeah, it's just, but the conversation is not fun to have.
No.
It's not easy to have. It's easier to say, I don't want to do that. And then nothing goes by.
Exactly.
And then after 20 minutes goes by, just think you could have already had the conversation.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Right. So
What's the...
I know I'm going over a lot.
No, this is good. Well, if you're a new agent out there and you're struggling,
Yeah.
what's some simple advice you could give?
So I think it's important to know who the people are doing well in this industry are. If you're a new agent, one of the biggest things I can say is get online. Like, obviously, if you guys are watching this, you already know Cody's doing well and he has access to high level people. But when I first got in the insurance industry, I started watching people that made their money in insurance. Right, I started watching what they were doing, and the reason why is
That's
because
such a good tip already. You haven't even said that much, but just the way you're approaching this
Yeah.
and learning from others and seeking them out.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
You have to do it because, like, if Cody's building 8% and doing all these speaking engagements, and I don't want to own my own speaking engagements, but if I wanted to, I would do whatever I could to learn from Cody, right? And bring value to Cody so he doesn't, like, you're not like bothering him, right? But bring value to the person. So I tell my kid this the other day, and I'm diverting, but this stuff all goes back to very, very simple things, right? My son, we leave Michigan Adventures, and we're at Michigan Adventures, and my son comes up to me, and we're walking out the door, and he goes, Dad, can we do this tomorrow? And I'm like, boy, we just had a long day at Michigan Adventures. I said, Eli, I want you to have that drive, right? I want you to want more. I want you to succeed, right? Never stop asking for more. But it's the way that you do it that's important, right? Don't get done with Michigan Adventures and come up to me and say, Dad, tomorrow I want to do this. Let's go home. You get up in the morning, pick up the house, clean up a little bit, maybe do the dishes, and come up and be like, Dad, can we go do this now, right? Build some value with me. Do a couple chores. Come and do some things that I see. Oh, I don't got to pick up the living room today, right? Oh, he already vacuumed, right? You guys can be doing this on a
That's
like,
good.
if I want to come with Cody, I want to be like, Cody, put me on stage. I'm going to come to Cody and be like, hey, Cody, these are, I get to know you a little bit. Here's some value that I think you could have from me. and then I get some value back, and I deliver some value, get some value back.
Correct.
And so it's all in the way that you go after things. It's not, hey, Cody, put me on stage because I think I could talk really good. Right?
Exactly.
It doesn't work like
That's
that.
what people think, though.
Yeah, and so it's the same thing with insurances, guys. Those people that are out there that have the knowledge that you want, bring value to them, or join them. If you know someone that's doing really well and they are killing it in their space, I've had people come to us and work with us, and they cold call and they work with life insurance and health insurance because we've built a reputation, right? And they're going to grow up to where we are, and then they're going to go on their way. So align yourself with the right people. So if you're let me back up now, because I got to put it in chronological order for myself. If you're first getting into this industry, do your due diligence on what you want to do. Get clear on your why in the insurance industry. If you're going to do this on your own, that's fine. Who are you going to look up to? Who are you going to try to get advice from? What are some daily podcasts you're going to listen to? Because motivation and knowledge is like taking a bath, right? Like, I shower today doesn't mean in 3 days I'm going to smell good, right?
Yeah.
And so I need to be motivated every single day. I need to create knowledge every single day. So continue to write down, what did I learn today? Just write something down. And if you're going to join an agency, do your due diligence on that agency. What are they doing? What's the reputation like? What are their agents doing? Are they good? It's like, there's an agency that I didn't work with because they were very, very cocky, very smart people. Didn't align with my core values. And so we didn't work with them, and we worked with someone else. So figure that out. You're going to work on your own. You're going to work with an agency. If you're there, utilize the structure in the agency. That agency has resources for you. They want you to grow. They make overrides on you, right, in the space. So they will give you, anytime you have questions, make sure you're asking. The only dumb question is one that you don't ask.
Yep.
And then if you're on your own, and you let's say you already got, this is a real simple one, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. Let's say you already got your motivation. You got stuff figured out. Most people won't look into products until they're in an opportunity where they need to find another solution, right? We have a stack of brochures of all of our products. And even all the ones that are e-brochures now or whatever, we print them off, and we just have you look at them. Like, we have 15 life products, read through them. And one of them might have a different requirement on a life thing, right? And so you say, oh, Mrs. Jones can't get in this because she needs insulin, but company over here allows it. But you wouldn't have known that unless you looked at the product. And now you don't got to go back home or back to your office, and you don't got to go through and dig it all. You have the app in the bag, and you know it because you were ready, right?
Yes.
Preparation meets opportunity, right?
So important.
Yeah,
so important.
So educate. It goes back to education. Write down your goals every day.
I do that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? If you slack a little bit, that's fine. Yeah, I took some time off last year, and I just think that there's a lot that there's a lot of things you can be doing. Keeping yourself on track and accountable is the most important thing.
So much opportunity.
Yeah.
Is this dude good or is this dude good?
I'm just trying.
This dude spits some game, man. For real. Okay, for real. If they want to reach out, learn more about you, find you.
Yeah, so we have a couple different things. So one, we have the Annuity Expert, which is our training on annuities. We also have, the Ryan Cicchelli, just the Facebook page. I'm getting my presence on YouTube and LinkedIn. LinkedIn's real good. And then we have Be More Mentoring, where I drop videos all the time and talk about just doing more, building, team building, things that I try to achieve in a day and do in a day. It's just some helpful nuggets. A lot of people are doing it. But we just try to give a different take on it. And we do a lot of accountability stuff. I think that's really important.
Yes.
And so, I'd love for more people to reach out. Obviously, we're making some pretty aggressive moves in the insurance space. So yes, I hope to become a little more known as things happen. Crazy year last year. But I look forward to, helping anyone I can. I do apologize that Coach Burt told me this the other day. He goes, you have so much knowledge and you're all over the place. We just got to get you. We just gotta get you in a straight line. So if I go off on some of these tangents, I don't mean to throw you guys off. There's value in all of it.
True.
And if I get off, I do apologize. But I want to be delivering a ton of value, and I do go off on my own rabbit holes once in a while.
Yeah.
So
Ryan Cicchelli.
Cicchelli.
Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know.
You heard it earlier though.
Yeah,
sure.
I let it go.
Cicchelli. Cicchelli. This is for you guys too, because you're about to be looking him up.
Yeah.
Cicchelli. Okay. How do you spell your last name? Ryan Cicchelli.
Yeah, Ciccelli. And then if you guys look up a big one, you guys, I love talking about this because everything that we've done at the rescue is from what we've achieved in the insurance industry. Look up Cicchelli Second Chance Rescue and Exotics. If you pull up Second Chance Rescue and Exotics, it will normally pull up it. If you type in Michigan, we will for sure pull up. And you guys just check out some of the stuff on there. If you guys I'm not home a ton. I'm traveling a lot. But if you message the page and say that you heard me on Cody's podcast, and you're in Michigan, we'll let you come check out some of the animals. So it give you a little incentive. If you're there with a family and you don't know what to do, and we're in Lake City, so northern Michigan area.
There you go.
It's beautiful. Get to hug a kangaroo. We have a blind kangaroo, Darwin.
Wow.
He loves giving hugs, man.
Wow.
Hugs, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my daughter loves them. But
that's good for you. But thank you for spending some time with us.
Thanks for having me.
Dropping some gold. Thanks for everything you're doing. And thanks for giving back to the channel. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're gonna love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. What would you say to a struggling agent that's considering quitting? They may end up a part of 92%.
You know the whole thing I was telling you about that one guy named Hunter whose dad, my mom told him he's a shy guy. One of the people I was working with is a restaurant owner. They sell